Hi, Tony from SongWriters Chop Shop here. This is part 2 of how to write a memorable song hook. If you missed part 1 where I talked about some of the techniques we can use to write a catchy hook, it's linked in the description below, so be sure to check it out. In this video, I'm going to talk about some techniques we can use for setting up our hook. Like most things, context is important and we want to set up our hooks so they stand out and get stuck in the listener's head brains. So let's get into it. Foreshadowing the hook in your song gives it a feel of familiarity and makes the song sections sound like they all belong together if you're using a lot of contrast between sections. So what is foreshadowing? It's basically hinting at what's to come, putting elements of the hook in early in the song so when the hook hits, it sounds familiar to the listener. And there's lots of different ways we can do this. Let's have a look at a couple of examples. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd uses the opening synth riff to foreshadow part of the upcoming chorus. E.T. by Katy Perry uses the whole verse melody to foreshadow the chorus melody.
You're so hypnotizing. Could you be the devil? Could you be an angel? Kiss me, kiss me, infect me with your love and fill me with your poison.
But you can also use the foreshadowing technique in less obvious ways. Take On Me by a-ha foreshadows the response line in the chorus with every opening line in the verse. It uses an altered version of the verse motif in the response line of the chorus. The pitch tones are different, but the melodic rhythm is almost identical. Foreshadowing your hook or even part of your hook, like just the melodic rhythm, will still make the listener feel like they already know it when it occurs in a more prominent position later in the song, like the chorus. Releasing tension. Building tension that is released at the hook is a great way to set up your hook and give it a lot of impact. This is where a well-constructed pre-chorus that builds tension really comes in handy.
You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just on the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a fire.
When the hook kicks in at the point of release, releasing that tension built in the previous section, it causes a strong urge to sing along to it. It's a powerful technique and there are dozens of ways to achieve it, and you don't necessarily need to rely on a pre-chorus. Take On Me builds that tension in the chorus itself. The chorus has contrast to what came before in the verse, and that's another important point of note. Contrast. Foreshadowing will give you a hook that sense of familiarity, but you also want to use contrast with what has just come before as a way to add impact and make the hook stand out. We'll look at that more in part 3, framing the hook, but back to Take On Me. So the chorus gives us contrast, but it also has the familiarity with the response line that has been foreshadowed throughout the verse. Ocean Eyes by Billie Eilish is another song with no pre-chorus that does the same thing. It has contrast with the chorus being different to the verse. And it also has the title line hook that we've heard from the opening of the song and throughout the verse. So if you want to see more about the basic elements of contrast, you can check out this video, it's linked below. Okay, so the first line of the chorus is what's known as a paraposition, and so is the line that comes directly before it. That's an important line. It carries the most weight of setting up the chorus. Lyrically, that line will usually be an emotional or feeling line. It gives us a glimpse of the bigger picture, so it makes sense to have the production and the arrangement reflect that by seeming far away or small. This is why you hear so many songs use a dropout just before the chorus.
I will always want you. I came in like a
Using a dropout to make the bit before the chorus sound far away or small achieves that same tension build. And again, there's lots of ways to do this. Have a listen to Don't Stand So Close to Me by The Police, where they use a single 8th note dropout just before the chorus. This technique also has the added bonus of making the chorus section sound bigger without needing to add a lot of extra elements. Like I mentioned in the first video about making your hook sound unique, it only needs to be unique relative to the rest of the song. It's the same with this technique. The chorus only needs to be bigger than what has just come immediately before. So check out those songs that foreshadow the hook line earlier in the song, and think about ways you can use the same technique in your song to set up your hooks. Also listen to some of your favourite songs and check out how they build and release tension, especially at the parts of the song they want to stand out, like the hook. Okay, in part 3 we're going to look at how to frame your hook. Catch you next time.